What's going on, you guys? This is RBG, aka The Random Black Gamer, bringing you a video on Transformers. And I wanted to talk about a specific genre that I feel like Transformers would thrive in very well, and that is fighting games. I've been yearning for that for the better half of a decade now, and it seems like somebody has answered my prayers, and we're going to talk about that today. But before we do so, I want to ask you guys to do me the biggest favor and like this video. Yeah, I know it's a bit annoying getting this request at the very beginning of a video before you've watched it in its entirety, but YouTube's algorithm encourages it. So if you rock with your boy and you know I'm going to bring you that awesome content, then smash that like button. But if you just so happen to be new to this channel and you feel like I've wasted 10 minutes of your time that you can't get back, then feel free to retract that like and give it a dislike. Just rate the video and run up that hype. But yeah, guys, I have been yearning for a fighting game for Transformers for I don't know how long now. Funny enough, it's been a very weird time for me on YouTube because the platform seems to punish me anytime I talk about something outside of Transformers, which you guys have recently seen me do with games like Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, which is a fighting game. That's something that's way out of the realm of the things that I talk about. It's not in that Transformers ecosphere, so I thought it would be a fitting time to kill two birds with one stone and talk about something that I just discovered. Now, usually when we get any type of TF game, we know what to expect. Like, we know that we're gonna get like some kind of like third-person shooter, or at least they beat them up in the form of Transformers Devastation. Games such as that and Transformers War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron have shown how much potential the franchise has when it comes to video game titles. Even though it seems like Hasbro doesn't see the massive earning potential these games can have, especially nowadays with how they've just completely neglected games like Transformers Reactivate, I'm inclined to believe that they do see that earning potential. They would just rather take that quick, fast route of licensing a game out to some lesser known company that's going to produce a less than stellar game that's going to rack in a lot of money just based off of the Transformers brand itself, which is unfortunate because this has been their strategy ever since their licensing agreement with Activision expired, resulting in some of the most cash grabby, microtransactional infested games I have ever seen. They're totally uninspired, they leave nothing to the imagination, and they don't capture the heart of what the Transformers are, man. We are talking about a pantheon of great characters such as Robo Jesus himself, Optimus Prime, as well as Megatron and his fleet of Decepticons doing amazing things. Like, to this day, I still get goosebumps looking at some of the things that were done in Fall of Cybertron and thinking about what could have been if they continued. And before you say anything, no, I'm not going to acknowledge Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark, so yeah. But anyways, I just feel like there is so much potential that's being wasted with Transformers, especially when it comes to other genres like fighting games. Believe it or not, there's only been one single game within that genre that was released on consoles years ago, which was Beast Wars Transmetal, a fighting game that, as the name implies, revolved around the Beast Wars cast. And this was available, I think, on the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64, and as you can imagine, both versions were vastly different from one another. They both had 3D elements, but I believe that the N64 had this 3D battle arena type of setting, while the PlayStation 1 version featured this top-down viewpoint where you could actually interact with the environment and cause more damage to your opponent. Both were unique in their own way, man. But yeah, I just remember these games and it kind of feels like a fever dream, right? Because like I said, man, these are just a handful of games that we did have that were fighting games. Like, it was just basically one game split into two, and that's essentially all we got for the consoles. Now, with that said, did we get more fighting games down the line? Yes, we did get another fighting game, and that was Transformers Forged to Fight. However, that was unfortunately a mobile game, and we already know how it is with those mobile games. Like, this goes back to what I said earlier about how Hasbro started licensing the TF property out to lesser known companies, most of which were mobile game companies. And I'm not just gonna go in on all of these Transformers mobile games and say that they didn't really try, because I do believe there's a respectable degree of work and attention to detail that went into them, but playing video games on the phone just isn't my thing. You know, I want something that I can actually pick up and play on my TV screen, and I want something that just doesn't have like brain rot to it. I don't like mashing on my touch screen until I can get the most hits on my character, which is basically all you did in Transformers Forged to Fight. You just tapped the screen and you hope that your character dealt out the most damage. I mean, yeah, you did have a little bit of strategy there, like learning when to dash forward or dash backwards and deliver light and heavy attacks, but it was nothing deep as you would see with a more in-depth type of fighting game like Street Fighter or Tekken Tekken. Everything for the most part was surface level and kind of catered to a casual audience that could pick up and play the game easily, and apparently it had some RPG elements up in it. Yeah, those were things that I just didn't care about, and I was really hoping to get a fighting game, and now it looks like we have that, which is this fan project that's been out for a while now that for whatever reason I just did not hear about until recently. This YouTuber by the name of Dipod is actually taking it upon himself to create a fan-made 2D 1v1 fighter, and it has all of the things that I think a lot of true die-hard Transformers fans as well as fighting game fans will enjoy. And what I like about this is that the designer of it decided not to just do a modernized 3D type of fighting game. He went back to the basics and made them 2D sprites, which is a style that was originally phased out due to it being a dated concept, but has now made a resurgence thanks to companies like Dotemu and games like Streets of Rage 4 and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Games like this prove that there's still room for classical 2D sprite animated things, especially with the technology that we have now. Like, there are no limitations and you can essentially elevate these games and make them look even better with that classical touch to them, and I feel like that's what this programmer is going for. A game that features retro elements but is still flashy and cool to look at. And I just want to point out too, because I know you guys are probably going to ask, why does it look so weird and unpolished, especially with certain animations with Megatron and this other character that he's fighting? And it's more than likely due to this game being in its early pre-alpha stage. Like, I checked to see what's the oldest video I can find on the Dipod channel, and it looks like it's been like over a year since he's been working on this. And while a year seems like more than enough time to have something that looks more presentable, I want you to keep in mind that this is just one person. This is a one-man army doing all of these awesome things and bringing them to life to us. It's not a development team by any stretch of the imagination, and even if there was some kind of collaborative effort put into this title, it would still take a while for the game to come out since it doesn't have the financial backing that most indie developers have. And one of the biggest contributors to why this game is going to be a while until it actually looks really good is the fact that the single person working on it has to animate. He has to essentially draw up these different animations frame by frame, consisting of the character motions, their actions, and make them seamlessly blend into one another, because that's how it is with sprite works. You're gonna have to do all those things and make them look presentable, or it's just gonna look like this weird choppy out of place mess, which I'm not gonna lie, even though this game you can tell that it has its blemishes, it still looks really good. Like, I love the style that this game has. It has this unique comic book art style similar to the one that we've seen with the Skybound Transformers, except instead of just going for a completely G1 aesthetic, it uses that evergreen look, which is basically a mixture of classical and modernized. But anyways, the guy that's working on this game just gets it. He gets the Transformers property, and it looks like he gets the FGC too. Like, he understands that people within the FGC would like to see something cool. Not saying that this is actually made for the FGC, because it just seems like a fan-made project that he's doing for fun, but I would like to believe that he's actually a part of the fighting game community and he understands all these things. Like, he likes a lot of the things that people within that community likes, and he's essentially pouring all of those aspects into this game. The presentation is very hyper and in your face, not to mention that you can notice certain things within the background, like Gears dancing, like getting his groove on, while Starscream and what looks to be Michael Bay's version of Blackout look at him in confusion. Like, what is a little Autobot doing dancing between two big menacing Decepticons? Whose mess is this? Put him on the... Oh, no. Go! Things like that, man. And the music, like, the music sounds really good, and the sound design is very good for a game that's in its early stages of development. Like, he even got the actual announcer to sound like the original narrator from the G1 series. Grimzeek 10 wins. Come on, man. And what this game kind of reminds me of, right, is another fan project that we got all these years back that's still going strong, and that's Hyper Dragon Ball Z, a title that continues to give us updates based on the current events that happened within the Dragon Ball world. Not only did the developers of that game do an awesome job recreating moments from the manga and anime, but they also made it a point to have fun and do silly things with it, like make these meta jokes that only internet dwellers like ourselves would understand. And that's what I'm picking up with this Transformers game, which I'm not sure what the name of this game is, but I hope that this guy continues to make it and he actually takes it seriously. But with that said, the biggest fear that I have in regards to this title is that the actual license holders, that being Hasbro, will essentially drop the hammer on this guy and send him a cease and desist, and we won't see this thing fully manifest into the awesome project that we all know it has the potential to be. Because we just had this situation regarding a fan project for Power Rangers called Power Rangers Ninja Kids, which actually had Hasbro's approval to continue and was full speed ahead on its production and almost finished until the very last minute, where Hasbro decided that nah, this thing looks too professional and it could essentially derail the Power Rangers show that we're producing, so yeah, you're gonna have to go ahead and shut this whole project down, which was one of the biggest disappointing bombshells that we got in the Power Rangers community. Like, fans still haven't gotten over that whole debacle, and I just can't help it, man. I can't help but fear that this is gonna be the same fate for this project, which seems to just be a dream thing. You know, it just seems like this is something that the creator is doing for fun, not necessarily for profit of any kind, just actually doing something that he would like to see in the form of a Transformers 2D fighting game. Like, if I were Hasbro, I would just let this dude cook. He's not necessarily bothering anybody. Or they can do the next best thing, actually pick this project up, put money into it, get an actual development team to help him out, and see it manifest a lot quicker. I'm just saying. But with that, I'm gonna end the video here. I just wanted to go ahead and highlight this game if you guys haven't heard about it or seen it on the internet already, because it just looks awesome, man. Like, even though, like I said, it's not polished, there are a few blemishes here and there, you can see the love that's being put into it, and I have my fingers crossed that we get a chance to see what the final product looks like. But anyways, guys, if you're interested in this title, I'll leave a link in the description to the guy's channel as well as the videos that were shown off. Be sure to subscribe to it and let them know that Random Black Gamer sent you. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this project? And how do you feel about the looks of it? Do you feel that the Transformers genre mixes with the fighting game one? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I ask you to like or dislike the video. It doesn't have to be a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs down if you want. But if you really enjoyed this video, it would help me out tremendously if you smash that hype button and you share this video with all your friends and followers on all the social media outlets. Sharing really makes a difference. But once again, this is your boy RBG, aka the Random Black Gamer, signing out on another video. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.